I came earlier this year and discussed the Universal Basic Income proposal in Stockton, California, from the newly elected Mayor Michael Tubbs. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box or the comment section, so just look out for that. But here's another city that could soon become the biggest U.S. city to try a universal basic income, and that city is, as you can see in the title, Chicago. This story was just published a couple hours ago. It's coming from businessinsider.com. I'll link this as well. So here are a few bullet points to give you a background on what universal basic income is. They say here it's a scheme, or in my opinion, a proposal, a plan, a strategy that offers money to citizens with no strings attached, gaining traction in small pockets of the U.S. and other countries. So when they say no strings attached, it works like a stipend, meaning that it is tax-free, and it is very popular. It's becoming more popular around the world. The Chicago City Council is being presented with a plan to trial giving 1,000 families $500 per month as a pilot scheme. It would need to pass a committee phase and a vote before being put into practice. 36 of Chicago City Council's 50 lawmakers have co-sponsored a bill which could be a good omen. They're using very negative language. This is from Business Insider, so I'm not really surprised. When it comes to helping citizens and planning to pull them out, they always say we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? And I believe a plan like Universal Basic Income would help to do that, at least to start doing that. They're using words like scheme, omen. These are negatively connotated words. When I think of a scheme, I think of Bernie Madoff, Enron. That's what I think of. When I think of omen, I think of the movie, The Omen. Okay. So I have to look and see who wrote this, first of all. Wait a minute. Okay, Sinead Baker. Anyway, let's move on. They say here, if implemented, there they go again, negative. Because it's not an if, it's about when and how efficient the universal basic income will be. It's not if. So this is a person who may come from a very well-established family, trust fund baby type person. They say if implemented, the scheme would make Chicago the largest U.S. city to trial a universal basic income among its citizens. So from here on out, I'm going to use the acronym UBI for universal basic income. Chicago could become the largest U.S. city to test a UBI program if its local government takes up a new proposal to start handing out $500 a month to some households for free. City lawmakers have voiced support for legislation that would trial a UBI scheme for 1,000 families. They already mentioned this like 3 times. They keep going over that. All right, anyway, a bill proposed by Chicago lawmaker Ameya Pawar has started the legislative process by gaining support from 36 of the city's 50 aldermen who vote on local laws. So you can read this at your leisure, the whole thing. And down at the bottom, you can see all the signatures. They need to deliver this report by October 1st, 2018, and there are all these signatures, and they put their districts, their number on the side is their ward numbers. Ameya Pawar is the 47th ward, and you have all these names listed. Ms. Pawar has a tweet here that you can read as well. They have a link from her speaking on The Intercept about this plan, or excuse me, I thought it was a she, where he said he is proposing this scheme in light of the threat of automation to the workforce and to provide a lifeline to the majority of U.S. families he said have very little money in the bank for emergencies. So that is very interesting. Now they're coming down here saying the legislation will now be debated by aldermen on the city's Committee on Workforce Development and Audit. If enough members are in favor of the plan, it will then be put before the city council for a vote. Chicago law means the mayor could then veto the proposal if he doesn't approve, but that in turn can be overruled by a 2/3 majority in the council. Pawar told The Intercept he is hopeful that the council and mayor will support it, but it's not yet clear what the level of support will be. A UBI scheme is already in place in Alaska where up to $2,000 is given to a citizen a year from a state fund. Other parts of the U.S. are also looking to trial a UBI with an 18-month trial to begin for 100 families in Stockton, California in 2019. And the plans of that are also described in the video I'll link. Finland began a UBI trial at the beginning of 2017 that gave 2,000 unemployed Finns 650, I'm not sure the denomination, but, or excuse me, 560 a month tax-free. There was a plan to expand it to cover working people as well, but the scheme was pulled in favor of other social welfare projects. So it seems interesting, and I think it's a very good idea because there are specific communities, especially Black society, that are 500 years or so behind other groups. We're not given the choice to come here. And I think of any other group, we should have the highest level and the most consistent level of UBI payouts given to us. That would be a form of reparations, in my opinion. If it does work, I'd like to see long-term projections. I'd also like to see what's happening for government response and more infrastructure, improved infrastructure, and maintained infrastructure in the areas where UBI is given. That should not come from the people because the UBI is tax-free. As I said, it works as a stipend. They may, after doing these trials, restructure the UBI and determine what uses what you can use it for. That may come later on. I'm just making early predictions on my own right now. But you all let me know what you think in the comment section. I'd like to hear from you, hear your opinions or thoughts, or even some links to other articles about this topic. I'll talk to you in the next video. Have a great day.